Imagine this. $84 trillion. Not in cash, not in stocks, but locked away in homes across America. And who holds it? Baby boomers, America's largest property shareholders. Their grip on real estate wealth is reshaping the housing market and leaving younger generations wondering, will there be anything left for them? This is the story of a generational shakeup that could define the future of housing in the United States. Welcome to VisaVerge News. Baby boomers, born between 1946 and 1964, aren't just living the American dream. They own it. As of 2024, these individuals, making up just 20% of the population, own a staggering 36% of all U.S. homes. Their home equity? An unbelievable $17 trillion. Half of the nation's total. Let's pause on that for a moment. Half of all home equity. And here's the kicker. Many boomers aren't interested in selling anytime soon. According to recent data, 68% of them plan to age in place. Picture that. Retired homeowners staying right where they are, holding tight to the keys of properties that younger buyers desperately need. Decisions like these send ripples through the housing market. For millennials and Gen Zers trying to find their first home, the challenge is brutal. Scarce inventory and sky-high prices create an uphill battle, and the dream of owning a home feels increasingly out of reach. Does this make you wonder, how did we get here? Well, decades of wealth accumulation paired with soaring property values have turned many boomer homes into gold mines, and understandably, most of them want to keep it in the family. A notable 75% of boomer homeowners plan to leave their homes, or the proceeds from them, to their children or relatives. Sure, that sounds great for their heirs, but there's a twist. The timing of this wealth transfer isn't exactly immediate. Many boomers prefer to pass it on posthumously, delaying the power shift to younger generations. And when you combine this with economic uncertainty, you can see why the housing market is stuck in gridlock. Speaking of timing, let's look ahead. Experts predict that over the next 20 years, $84 trillion in assets will change hands. Yes, $84 trillion. But most of this enormous figure, 58% of non-financial assets, is tied up in residential properties. What does that mean for the housing market? It could be an opportunity or a challenge. Regional disparities may reveal themselves across the country. For instance, some Rust Belt cities could see a boom in homes hitting the market as boomers age. Younger families might finally get their shot there, but in highly desirable areas? Forget it. Many properties will remain locked away as boomers aim to hold on to their legacy. Of course, not every boomer is staying put. For those planning to move, downsizing remains their top choice. In fact, 66% of boomers who are considering a change in address are opting for smaller spaces. That means some suburban homes may finally be freed up for growing families, but not in large enough numbers to solve the inventory crisis. And some boomers are entertaining the idea of multi-generational housing, like turning backyards into shared spaces with accessory dwelling units. A creative solution? Definitely. A widespread fix? Well, that's debatable. Then there's the question of retirement. Surprisingly, only 9% of boomer homeowners plan to tap into their home equity or use a reverse mortgage to fund their golden years. Most are determined to safeguard their equity, prioritizing stability and a secure inheritance for the next generation. But with housing affordability plummeting for younger buyers, you have to wonder, is this sustainable? Looking further ahead, a 2025 projection reveals this. 51% of Americans plan to buy a home, with the highest interest coming from Gen Z and millennials. Yet nearly half of all Americans, 49%, believe homeownership is unrealistic. Concerns about rising home prices, interest rates, and taxes weigh heavy on the minds of potential buyers. For current homeowners contemplating a sale, the fear of losing favorable interest rates has them pressing pause. Can you blame them? So what's the solution? Housing experts and policymakers are brainstorming creative fixes. Increased efforts to build affordable housing could help balance supply and demand. Financial products tailored for boomers might encourage them to monetize their equity without compromising retirement. And those multi-generational setups we mentioned? They could offer a bridge between tradition and modern living. But let's not forget, real solutions require collaboration across the board. The $84 trillion question isn't just about numbers. It's about people, families, and the stories told through the homes we live in. The choices baby boomers make today, whether to stay, sell, or pass on their wealth, will define the housing landscape for decades to come. But what does this mean for you? Will you adapt to the changes or wait for the pendulum to swing? Keep watching, keep asking, and above all, stay informed. Learn more about this and other immigration updates at visaverge.com.